Welcome back to another episode of APositive Insights. My name is Darren Cottrell, and today I'm joined by Khanh Pham from Bullhorn.
Thanks, Darren. How are you?
Very, very good. How are you?
Yeah, excellent, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Really happy you joined us today. It'd be great if you could just give everyone a quick intro to who you are and who Bullhorn are.
Sounds good. My name is Khanh Pham, as you said, and I am the Regional Sales Director for Bullhorn. I've been in the business for about 15 years. Started my career in the United States and moved over here to Australia about 10 years ago. And I also had a stint of working for Bullhorn for the recruitment industry in Europe for about 2.5 years, based in Rotterdam, and decided that Australia is the best place on earth to live. So I decided to move back here. And I've been with Bullhorn ever since. So.
Wow, 15 years of Bullhorn. I did not know that.
Yeah, 15 years with Bullhorn, and it's been a great journey working with customers across the globe. So I think personally I've onboarded about 200 customers of all different sizes. And I was also very hands-on in the early on of implementations for a lot of customers in Australia. So yeah, I've been in the industry for quite some time, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, great. So best place to live.
Best place to live and best company to work for and best industry to be in.
I agree. Apart from the best place to work. So obviously that's APositive.
And Bullhorn obviously is a global leader in recruitment software for recruitment agencies.
Yeah.
Now we work exclusively with recruitment agencies, and we don't work with corporate HR, internal recruitment team, because we can then focus our innovation to help support our clients to always be at the forefront of technology.
Yeah, amazing.
We have about 10,000 customers globally and keep growing. So
Great.
Yeah.
Great. What market share would you have in Australia?
So we started out here about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Slowly growing market share. I think we have about half of the market share at the moment here. We do have a lot of customers in the mid-market to enterprise. You know, it's always hard to count how many enterprise customers you have, because everyone will say, yeah, we have Adecco, we have Randstad. But yeah, we work with these companies at a global level. So lots of users in Australia.
Yeah, great. So a lot of people have been talking about the market.
Yeah.
Like, I think every conversation I have is about how's the market.
Yeah.
Would you say it's been a tough market, 225?
100%. It's been a very tough market for our clients, for our prospective clients, for our clients' clients, for our candidates, and for us vendors as well. So it hasn't been easy, and I'm sure everyone can testify that it's a very strange market. Typically, you will see that we have either a candidate short market where our clients will have plenty of opportunities to go and find talent for their clients.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're going to have a oversupply of talent, but not enough jobs. We're in a funky situation now, I think, with AI being disruptor, where we don't have enough good quality candidates. We don't have enough job supply. And as a result, I think our clients are struggling a little bit, but I think we're stabilizing right now. So the outlook for 2026 is a lot better, but we really need to look at how we're going to tackle the challenges in 2026.
Yeah. What would be some of the key areas that agencies are struggling in?
The biggest challenge that I've heard so far in speaking to our customers as well as surveying them is just the lack of resources to deal with an increase in applications. It's kind of a contradictory statement when I just say, oh, we don't have enough candidates.
Yeah.
But the reality is we don't have enough good quality candidates. If an agency posts a job out, they might get 100, 200 applications, and with the same amount of resources that they have, same amount of recruiters, they physically cannot just go through all of these applications and return, get back to all these candidates. And as a result, their process is getting slower, they're not filling jobs as quickly, and candidates are getting frustrated as well. So we're seeing a massive frustration growing within the candidate experience that we survey, whereby every single category of interactions that they have with recruitment agencies decrease this year. So you would see another issue that they're going to have is how to deal with candidate expectation, speed and agility, speed and responsiveness in the age of AI.
What's the reason for such an increase in applications?
just people wanting to have more opportunities.
Yeah.
So I guess when you think about it, right now, I think the economy is not doing so well. So candidates are also looking to good quality candidates, might not be looking to shift jobs, but a lot of candidates also are stuck in low paying jobs and they just want to have better opportunities. We also seeing an increase in overseas applications of people wanting to move to Australia. So with 100 applications that you might receive, maybe 90% of them are not even qualified to work in Australia.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So maybe there's an opportunity there for technology to help them review those 200 candidates.
100%. Like technology is the key moving forward to increase productivities. We recently worked with one of our clients, People Bank,
Yep.
and they just published some astounding results. They are able to get through to 3 times more candidates by using more of an automated sourcing and screening tool.
Yeah.
And that's just brilliant, because instead of now waiting for a recruiter to get back to you, a candidate can expect to go through an automated screening process whereby they might still have access to a recruiter down the track, but they can fast track their application. They can get to a human a lot faster if they go through some initial screening by AI.
Yeah, amazing. That's an amazing stat. In terms of, so the candidate experience you're talking about, there's a decrease in candidates looking to use agencies moving forward. Can you just give me some stats around that?
Yeah, so when we survey our candidate satisfactions when working with the recruitment agencies, we have different categories from speed and responsiveness to job fit. Across the board, these areas decrease by minimum 10%, and speed and responsiveness is the number one area where candidates are getting frustrated. So when we dig into that problems a little bit more, it's probably very evident to us now thinking about it is you apply to so many jobs, you're just waiting to hear back from someone, but it's kind of a black hole for candidates. They're not hearing back from recruiters. They don't know whether the application is getting progressed to the next stage or not. And even when they get the first initial interview, they don't hear back. So that kind of lack of response from recruitment agency is it's the reason why candidates are not as satisfied.
So typically an agency wouldn't necessarily have the time or resources to be able to go back to every candidate that's applied for a job.
It's always been a problem in recruitment. But it's exacerbated by just the increase in applications that a typical recruitment agency will receive. Now, I'm sure that in some niche industry like education, nursing, we don't have enough candidates, so that area might not be applicable to those agencies. But in general, yes.
So what's some of like the mind shifts that agency owners need to make, like moving forward with candidates?
Well, I think this is not going to be a short-term shift in mentality. It has to be a long-term planning of how you deal with candidates moving forward, because candidates will eventually become customers as well. We all know this. They will progress in their career. So the shift in mentality whereby not just looking at candidates as a short-term commodity and look at them as a way to fill a job, you really need to look at candidate loyalty as well. So by improving the candidate experience when engaging with your brand, then you can build that branding, increasing word referral, increasing your reputation in the market, and that will have intangible results later down the track. So I really think that recruitment agencies need to just not look at candidate experience right now as a short-term problem. It has to be a problem that get addressed, and that has to be the focus of their investment in technology to, change that dynamic.
Yeah. Oh, it should absolutely be a long-term goal.
Yeah. And when you think about it as well, our workforce right now, I think Gen Z is stepping into the market, and then the next generation of Gen Alpha getting into the workforce, they have never experienced the world without smartphone, without the internet. They're going to be even more critical of the lack of use of technology for recruitment agency. When you think about it, young candidates right now, every single aspect of their life is digital.
The digital age,
Whether that's dating, whether that's banking, whether that's getting food, and they expect the same level of experience when it comes to working with a recruitment agency and looking for a job. So if we don't keep up, then there will be a lot of other digital players out there that can potentially create a brilliant piece of technology and really disrupt the current traditional model of recruitment agencies.
Yeah, I would imagine they'd expect like an instant response based on where they're at in the cycle.
Yep. Instant gratification.
Yep.
Instant result. Instant feedback. Everything has to be instant.
And is anyone doing that at the moment?
Absolutely. Yeah. Bullhorn is looking into ways that we can provide that immediate feedback to candidates when they apply to a job. We're looking at way for our customers to immediately publishing jobs to candidates when they have a shift available. We're looking at many different ways of improving that candidate instant gratifications to help our customers prepare for the next wave of candidates joining the workforce.
Great. So, talking about your talent trends, so the Grid Talent Trend Survey, what are the biggest shifts you're seeing heading into 2026?
It's when AI first came out, it's all about AI expectation from candidates. When AI first came out, I think a lot of our in traditional job seekers are quite skeptical. They don't necessarily want to be judged by AI. They don't want to be screened by AI. But I think more and more candidates are shifting that mindset a lot more because they're seeing better results when it comes to their experience. So by providing that speed and responsiveness that I just referenced early on, candidates are now seeing the ability to get to a recruiter quicker. Candidates do not want to be treated like just a number. They want to have a human interaction. So they are okay with interacting with digital formats like AI screening tools, but there's got to be an expectation set early on that, hey, we just going to use technology to help improve your process, getting you to a human faster. And actually, when we survey candidates who have gone through that process, 80% of them say, yeah, that was a brilliant experience because I get my response a lot faster. Even if I wasn't successful, I get an immediate feedback as to why I wasn't successful in this role, and even get recommendation of what I can do to prepare for my next role. So that was a big shift in candidate readiness to accept AI. Yeah,
because even probably 12 months ago, people would be complaining about chatting to an AI agent, AI bot on a chat bar, but people are actually happy to do that now.
100%, yeah.
And that is purely on the speed of reply.
Speed of response is one thing, but also just being able to address the black box of what is happening with my application. That's another reason why candidates are a lot happier.
Yeah.
And the third area where candidates see a massive improvement in their experience is just the ability to go through that screening process on their own term, at their own pace. So when you think about candidates who are working 9 to 5, for example, and then when they want to start applying for a job, they apply and they don't hear back from a recruiter maybe until the very next day, and by that time there will be 100 applications waiting for that recruiter to screen. As a result, you might not hear back, not just from one day, not 2 days, you might not hear back forever. But being able to do the screening at the time that's convenient to you so that you get to the top of the list of qualified candidates, and then those candidates getting a response from a recruiter a lot faster. That's another reason why candidates are absolutely open to working with AI.
Yeah, no, amazing. It's just making it more accessible and more, I suppose, fitting in with people's lifestyles. And yeah, great. So what stands out most in terms of the candidate expectation in the next few years?
The ability to work with human being is absolutely crucial. So the expectation that our customers have to set with candidates is that we using a combination of technology to help speed up the process to provide you with more intel, but at the same time, recruiters are not to be seen purely as someone to place a person into a job. their role needs to be adapted to more of a consultant, a career coach to candidates, so that they know there's a reason why I'm working with the recruitment agencies, I'm getting more benefit. It's not just about placing me in a role, because candidates can go directly to a job board, or can go directly to a customer, an end employer to do that. But if they go through a recruitment agency, then they expect also to be able to get more support, whether that's reskilling, upskilling, getting career advice. These are some of the typical things that we're seeing, especially with Gen Z these days. They have the poorest experience when it comes to interacting with technology, because they have high expectation, but also they probably don't have the right experience to be prioritized by a recruitment agency, if you know what I mean. Like they're early in their career, and going back to what I was saying earlier about not treating candidates purely as a short-term capital to fill a job, but seeing them more of a long-term strategy for your success.
Yeah, so we're moving away from less transactional to more of a I suppose an advisor, consultant.
100%, and that doesn't just apply to candidates, that also applies to clients as well, because with AI technology advancement, our customers who are the end employers could potentially just use sourcing tools that are available to speed up, to do a lot of the work themselves as well. So recruitment agency need to reposition themselves as a career coach, a consultant, to not just to candidates, but also to our clients.
Yeah, no, great. And in terms of where we're at now, like, it sounds like there's a big gap between what agencies are already doing and what the candidates are expecting. I suppose, would you be able to just summarize what you're expecting in 2026?
In 2026, I don't have a crystal ball, but if I was to predict in 2026, there will be a rush to do a couple of things. One is, everyone is itching right now to put a strategy in place for using AI, but a lot of people are getting stuck in that planning phase. They want to talk about it. They want to, I guess, survey the market to see what technology is out there, but they're not actually implementing technology in a fast enough pace to keep up with the innovations that's out there. So there will be an arm race next year to see what AI tools are available, what should I be using. So the first thing I would see is just an explosion of more technology in AI that's going to be available. The second part is looking at the internal infrastructure of their own company, whether that's right-sizing the number of recruiters, whether that's looking into investing in outsourcing, into looking at offshoring part of their business to make sure that they're more profitable, getting their finance in order. As you know, next year there will be a change in legislation when it comes to same-day super. So APositive, obviously you guys are aware of that. But also that creates more stress when it comes to finance, even more stress when it comes to, whether we have enough cash flow to fund those superannuation for our candidates. If we have increase in costs for meeting our payroll expectation every month, what does it look like for us in terms of budget for investing in technology? So it's a tricky situation to be in as a recruitment agency owner and leaders next year. But that's why that planning phase in the next couple of months is going to be so important, so that everyone can be clear, all right, next year we do need to have budget set aside for investing in technology. We need to have budget set aside to meet payroll expectation. What do we do? How do we come up with that money?
Yeah, no, some good points. I just wanted to go back to like the technology and tools part, right? What would be some of the easier wins? Like what part of the recruitment workflow would you recommend recruiters automate?
A couple of very quick and easy win is just introducing generative AI into their workflow. So typical things that you're seeing right now is generating a candidate CV based on the original CV that the candidate supply. Maybe you need to boost it up a little bit. There are also opportunities to increase in client and candidate communication. Recruiters are great at talking, but not necessarily writing ads or drafting emails. So just using generative AI, combining with their own data to be able to spit out this content very quickly, that's a great starting point. So if you're not integrating your generative AI with your CRM, you're missing a trick. So that's a very easy thing to do. The second part is looking at sourcing, candidate sourcing.
Yeah.
Instead of going out externally, how about looking into your internal candidate database, which is a gold mine that a lot of people overlook. How to find candidates faster within that database without having to go externally. Because a lot of people, once they post a job out, they're going to receive 100 applications. They might not go through that quickly, but you're already sitting on a gold mine that you're neglecting. So investing in sourcing technology to help you identify hidden talent in your database. And the third part is just really increasing that speed of screening. So these are the three things that I would strongly recommend.
Yeah, great. Like one of the items that comes up often around your workforce that's already out working, like the contractors, it's like the end dates. Like when they're coming to an end, of course the contractor's going to be out in the market looking for another job when they know their contract comes to an end in a few weeks' time. We see often agencies not even manage that talent pool that are actively already working for them. Yeah. Is there any tools that can help them manage that?
If that's actually a problem that's a long-term problem in recruitment.
Yeah.
How do you increase your redeployment rate? Then a couple of things that you can do very easily. One is just having access to a report to say these are the candidates that are finishing up, and then just having a strategy in place, whether a process in place, whether that's reaching out to these candidates a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance. The next step you can take is automating that reminder to consultants, because usually out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it right in front of you, maybe having automation giving you a little nudge to say, hey, make sure you reach out to Darren because he's finishing up his assignment next week or in 2 weeks' time. Find him another role. Or you can use these candidates that are finishing up to market them to your client as well. Sometimes that's a great opportunity to just say, I have a talent that's not going to be typically available, but they will be. Are you interested? And generating more BD work that way. Yeah,
great. And in terms of the different generations of candidates, like we're talking a lot about like the new entrants, like the digital age. But I suppose, would there be any different ways that, depending on the ages of the generations, on how they like to work with recruiters?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, maybe my age and older, just accept.
And what's your age?
I'm 37, 38.
Yeah.
We probably look at working with recruiters and working with looking for jobs. These are arduous tasks that we don't have the same expectation of what that's like, but the younger generation, obviously, as I said earlier, they have been exposed to digital experience, the Netflix experience from a very young age. So they want that experience to carry across every single aspect of their life, including looking for jobs or finding employment. So we're just looking at different generations. I think there's a massive opportunity for us to capture these younger generations and keep them loyal to recruitment agencies by providing just great experience from the very beginning. And as of right now, if that's not going to be your primary focus, these people will grow up and probably not want to work with you if they don't have the experience, the good experience from the beginning. But if you provide them with, based on our survey, if you provide them with opportunities such as upskilling, reskilling, and giving them more career advice, these are the things that they don't typically get because they don't have the relevant experience right now. But once you provide that level of service, the loyalty increases significantly just by providing those extra steps in your recruitment process.
And in terms of our age, like you're 37, I'm 40.
Yeah.
How do they want to interact with recruiters?
It's an added bonus when everything becomes more easy. If you think about it, we all would like to enjoy a little bit less time looking for jobs. We like to be served, hey, these are great opportunities. So being more proactive with people who have more experience, coming to them with opportunities, giving them an update of what's happening in that particular market. So for example, if I'm in IT, in sales, or SaaS sales, if a recruitment agency comes to me on a regular basis with an update in what's happening in the market, letting me know that these are the trends that are happening right now in IT, in sales, I will be a lot more interested in working with them. And once that, there's time to switch, obviously that familiarity with the name of the agency means that I will be more likely to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm ready to make a move. And that's a way to have a captive market. But if you don't have a strategy for communication, regular keeping in touch with people who are already in your network, out of sight, out of mind, once again, when those candidates of our age looking for a role, they will automatically revert back to going to job board. They will be reverting back to, not using recruitment agencies.
Yeah, great. So how can agencies build a balanced model between tech and human touch?
It's a mind shift for recruiters to say, and also for recruitment agency owners to say, we're hiring our recruiters to be human-centric so that they can spend more time with candidates, spend more time with clients. It's a shift that we don't have to ask our recruiters to do a lot of the manual works. Let them do what they do best, which is building relationship, and really focus more on investing in technology to remove that manual work layer of their job. It's really boring to, take note after a phone conversation, putting that in the CRM. Any salesperson, any recruiter would just tell you it's not part of the fun, right? But it's so important in the past, so that recruitment agency owner can see what's happening. You can keep track of KPI. A lot of that admin stuff should now be automatically done for the human, so that we can really shift our focus to build better relationship.
So we like to finish off the podcast with one piece of advice. So what would be your one piece of advice for recruitment agency owners for this year?
I think in the quiet period, it's absolutely critical that we take this time to plan, because you need to be strategic about what you want to accomplish. There can be so much to be done. So just plan out your year, what is going to be your top priority, whether that's going to be investing in technology, whether that's sorting out your finances for, coping with the next year changes in legislation, whether that's implementing an offshore team. These are the things that you have to decide for yourself, what's going to be your strategy for the rest of the year, but really map that journey so that you don't boil the ocean and getting stuck in a hamster wheel where you go, there's so much to do and I don't know what to do first, so I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, great, Khanh. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Thanks again for listening to the podcast today. We hope you found it insightful. APositive, we specialise in partnering with recruitment and labour hire businesses across Australia, New Zealand and the UK. Whether you're starting, scaling, or you're an existing business, we're here to support you with back office, payroll, funding and payments. Follow us on LinkedIn or visit us at our website. We're here to help.